So I've just finished installing the ATOTO F7 in this car, the F7 SE. I'm not going to review it today because I've already done that in a different video on my channel, so you can go and have a look at that. The reason I chose the ATOTO is because this Nissan Primastar doesn't have working steering controls. It does actually have a steering wheel control stalk behind the steering wheel, but I can't use it. The reason for that is because even though there is an adapter made for this van to allow aftermarket head units to work with this steering wheel stalk, that adapter only functions if the original clock that was above the single DIN factory radio is still in the van. It's part of the CAN bus network. It's required for the steering controls to work. And because that clock is not in this van, because it was taken out when the previous aftermarket installation was done, I can't just buy that adapter and get the steering stalk to work. But to be honest, I don't like installations which don't have steering controls for the simple fact that it takes your attention away from driving to do things. And even though this ATOTO does actually have physical buttons, which makes things a little bit easier because you can memorize where the buttons are so you don't need to look at it, still it's better to have steering wheel controls. And that's the reason why I've installed an ATOTO in this vehicle, not because it has physical buttons, which is cool. ATOTO do aftermarket steering controls, and this is really cool. There's a few manufacturers that do them, but the ATOTO one is one of the nicest that I've ever seen. But why do I like this steering wheel controller more than the other brands? Well, first of all, the buttons glow in the dark. But second of all, and most importantly, the volume control is this wheel that you can move around on the edge. It's just so nice, like it feels like proper quality, like it's meant to be there. Now obviously it depends on the wheel and where you want to put it. I've put it here because that's the flat spot on the wheel and I don't want it to come off. But yeah, I mean it's really, really sturdy with the adhesive, and it's just a really nice thing. And this gives total control, volume control, next backtrack. You can answer the phone, put the phone down, and play, pause, and mute up here. And then of course in the center here, you have the voice control button. So you can press that and you can talk to Siri or you can talk to Google on Android, and you can just control and make phone calls or do whatever with your voice. And what I've done here is use the adhesive pad that actually came with the ATOTO steering wheel controller, so it's just stuck onto the steering wheel and it's really hard on there. It's not going to come off anytime soon. You don't have to stick it on. I did that to make it sort of a more permanent feature, but it does actually come with this strap, and that basically goes around the steering wheel, and you can have it sort of just held on with this strap on the steering wheel if you want. Also in the box you get a spare battery, so whenever the battery goes in this, you can just pop a new one in and keep going. The batteries are supposed to last for a very long time though, so that's really, really cool. The other thing that was in the box is the actual receiver. It's a tiny little thing with a 3.5mm jack that just goes straight into the back of the ATOTO, into the relevant port. The easiest installation ever, no setup whatsoever. It's just plug and play. You plug it in and it functions immediately. Amazing.